What do you do when sadness comes to visit? Do you distract yourself, numb yourself, or immediately try to fix it with positive thoughts? We treat sadness like an unwelcome intruder, one that must be banished from the house of our psyche. We put on a brave face. We say, "I'm fine," and we wonder why the performance is so exhausting. But what if sadness isn't an intruder at all? What if it is a gentle, quiet, and profoundly wise guest arriving with a gift you desperately need? A gift of depth, a gift of creativity, a gift of soul. Are you willing to open the door? Today, we will challenge the tyranny of positivity. In a world addicted to good vibes only, we will explore a crucial truth that Carl Jung and the great poets understood. The soul does not grow in constant sunlight. It grows in the cool, moist, twilight soil of melancholy. Your relentless pursuit of happiness may be the very thing that is keeping you shallow. This is not an invitation to despair. It is an invitation to wholeness. We will learn the gentle art of being with our sadness, not to be consumed by it, but to finally hear its wisdom. We will reframe it not as a sickness to be cured, but as a sacred gift to be unwrapped. This is not a video about how to be happy. It is a guide to finally becoming whole.
The quiet guilt of a blue mood is one of the heaviest burdens of modern life. You feel a wave of sadness wash over you on a perfectly good day, and your first reaction is not to feel the sadness. It is to feel guilty for feeling sad. The inner critic immediately arrives on the scene. "What's wrong with you?" it asks. "You have so much to be grateful for. You should be happy." And so begins a second and far more exhausting battle. Not just against the sadness, but against yourself for the crime of not being happy. This is not a personal failing. This is a cultural sickness. We live under the quiet, relentless tyranny of positivity. A world of curated Instagram feeds, of good vibes only mantras, of a relentless pressure to perform a bright and shiny version of ourselves at all times. In this world, happiness is not just a desirable emotion, it has become a moral obligation, and sadness has become a sin. This cultural mandate forces our genuine, natural, and very human sadness into the shadow. We learn to see it as a weakness, a flaw, a problem to be solved as quickly as possible. We are taught to fight it, to fix it, to medicate it, to distract ourselves from it, anything but to actually feel it. The cost of this war is immense. We become emotionally inauthentic, disconnected from our own true experience, and we become profoundly lonely because we can never show our full human selves to one another. We only show our representative, our smiling persona. Before we can ever unwrap the gift of melancholy, we must first address the great fear that stands at the door. The fear that our sadness is the first step on a slippery slope into the dark abyss of depression. This is a real and understandable fear, and it is vital that we make a clear and compassionate distinction. Natural sadness or melancholy is a living, moving, and relational state. It feels heavy, but it is a wet heavy. There is movement. There can be tears, which are a release. There is a sense of connection to something deep, the memory of a lost love, a poignant piece of music, the bittersweet beauty of an autumn afternoon. Sadness is a part of life. It is the soul's rainy day. Clinical depression, on the other hand, is a state of being stuck. It is a profound sense of psychic paralysis. It often feels dry. It is not the presence of sadness, but the absence of all feeling. A gray, joyless, and disconnected numbness. A state where there is no movement, no release, and no connection. This state often requires and deserves professional support. The great paradox, as Carl Jung understood, is that by fearing and suppressing our natural, healthy sadness, we are actually creating the very conditions of stagnation that can lead to depression. By refusing to let the soul have its rainy day, we create a spiritual drought. Learning to honor our sadness is one of the most powerful preventative medicines we have against the paralysis of true despair. I remember a woman I worked with who was terrified of her own grief after her mother passed away. She kept herself incredibly busy. She threw herself into work. She did not allow herself to cry. She was praised by everyone for being so strong. 6 months later, she came to me in a profound, numb depression. She said, "I don't feel anything, just gray." Her healing did not begin by trying to feel happy. It began by finally giving herself permission to feel sad. The first time she allowed herself to truly weep, to let the great frozen river of her grief finally flow, she said it was the first time she had felt alive in months. The tears were not the problem. The tears were the beginning of the cure. Pause here with me for a moment. Think of a time you felt sad and you judged yourself for it. A time you told yourself to get over it or cheer up. Can you feel the subtle violence in that? The self-rejection? What would it have been like in that moment, instead, to offer your own heart a quiet space of permission? To just say to your own heart, "It's okay. You can be sad for a little while." That is not an act of weakness. It is an act of profound self-compassion. It is the beginning of peace. So if sadness is not a sickness, if it is not a flaw, then what is it? What is its purpose? Why does the soul, in its infinite wisdom, need these seasons of rain?
The soul does not want to be happy all the time. That is the ego's agenda. The soul wants to be whole, and wholeness includes the rain. Sadness and melancholy are not enemies of a good life. They are essential ingredients of a deep life. They are the quiet guests who arrive not to destroy the house, but to wash the windows so that you can see the world and yourself more clearly. These soulful emotions have 4 sacred functions. The first is that sadness slows you down. The ego is a creature of momentum. It is always rushing forward to the next goal, the next achievement, the next distraction. It is terrified of stopping because in the stillness it might have to feel. Sadness is the soul's gentle and sometimes heavy hand on your shoulder. It is a natural break on the frantic forward-marching ambition of your life. It forces you to pause, to reflect, to reevaluate what truly matters. In the quiet slowness of a melancholy afternoon, the trivial anxieties of the ego lose their power, and the great silent questions of the soul have a chance to be heard. The second function is that sadness turns you inward. It pulls your psychic energy away from the distracting outer world and directs it into the inner landscape of your own heart. It is a call to introspection, to pilgrimage, to walk through the quiet, forgotten rooms of your own being. I have found in my own life and in the lives of those I have worked with that our most profound creative breakthroughs, our most important life-changing insights, do not arrive in moments of bubbly happiness. They arrive in the quiet, contemplative space that only sadness can provide. The sadness is the muse. It is the fertile, dark soil from which the most beautiful flowers of creativity can bloom. The third function is that sadness dissolves your illusions. The ego loves certainty. It loves black and white thinking. It loves to believe it has everything figured out. Melancholy has a watery quality. It softens. It blurs the hard edges of your certainty. It washes away the rigidities of your persona, the mask of the one who is fine. In the gentle rain of sadness, you are reminded of your own tender, fragile, and beautiful humanity. It is a homecoming to your real self beneath the armor of competence. And the fourth and most beautiful function is that sadness connects you. In your moments of manufactured happiness, you can feel profoundly alone, trapped in the performance of your own perfect life. But in your genuine sorrow, you are never alone. You are tapping into the great shared river of human experience. The heartbreak you are feeling has been felt by billions of souls before you. The grief that is washing over you is the same grief that has carved the canyons of the human heart for millennia. When you allow yourself to feel your own sadness, you are not isolating yourself. You are joining the sacred, invisible community of all who have ever loved and lost and dared to be human. It is the most profound antidote to alienation. This is the great reframe, the wisdom of the lotus and the mud. Your happiness, your successes, your bright moments are the beautiful lotus flower. But the lotus cannot grow in the clean, sterile air. It needs the mud. And your sadness, your grief, your failures, your heartbreaks are the mud. The dark, messy, and profoundly nutrient-rich soil that gives the flower its strength, its color, and its depth. To hate the mud is to starve the flower. To accept the mud, to honor the mud, is to understand the sacred ecology of your own soul. Pause here with me. Think of a piece of music, or a film, or a poem that has always touched the sad part of your heart. Why do you return to it? It is not because you are a masochist. It is because your soul recognizes the truth in it. It is a companion, a witness. It says to you, I understand this feeling. You are not alone in it. That act of connection, that shared moment of melancholy, is not a sickness. It is a form of prayer. It is a holy communion. So the question is not, how do I get rid of my sadness? The question becomes, what is this sadness trying to teach me? What windows is it trying to wash? What flower is trying to grow from this mud? This shift in the question is the shift from a life of fighting to a life of soulful curiosity. But how do we do this? How do we sit with this guest without letting them take over the house? How do we sit with this wise and quiet guest without letting them take over the house? How do we honor our sadness without being consumed by it? This is not a matter of willpower. It is a matter of hospitality. It is the art of being with. An art that is built upon the strong container we have been forging together. There are 3 simple practices to this gentle art. The first is to create a sacred space for your blues. When a wave of melancholy arrives, instead of fighting it or letting it flood your entire day, you give it a respectful container. You consciously set aside a small amount of time for it. Perhaps it is 15 minutes in the evening. You light a candle. You play a piece of gentle, poignant music. You wrap yourself in a soft blanket. You are not wallowing. You are creating a ceremony. You are saying to your sadness, I see you. I will sit with you for a little while. You are welcome here. This simple act of creating a container paradoxically keeps the sadness from becoming overwhelming. It knows it will have its time. It does not need to scream for your attention. The second practice is to use the language of the soul. Sadness, as we have said, is the great muse of creativity. The ego creates for production, for an audience, for a result. The soul creates simply to express. When you are in the sacred space of your melancholy, engage in non-goal-oriented creative acts. Journal without any intention of writing something good. Let the words flow like rain. Listen to that one album that has always understood your heart. Look at a piece of art that moves you. Doodle. Write a terrible poem. The goal is not to create a masterpiece. The goal is to give your sadness a voice, to give it a color, a shape. When you give your inner world an outer form, you are no longer possessed by it. You are in relationship with it. This is the heart of Jung's practice of active imagination. And the third and most intimate practice is to become the compassionate witness. This is the final evolution of the work of reparenting your inner child. It is the act of turning toward your sadness with the same tenderness you would offer a dear friend who is hurting. Instead of the inner critic's voice of judgment, you consciously invoke the voice of the wise adult, the good parent. You place a hand on your heart. You feel the ache beneath it, and you simply say, internally or out loud,
I am here. I know this hurts. It is okay. You can be sad for a little while. I am not going to abandon you. This simple act of self-compassion is the most powerful healing balm in the universe. It is the end of the inner war. You are finally becoming the safe harbor for your own heart. Pause here. Just breathe. Imagine that sad young part of you, the part you have been trying to fix for so long. What would it feel like to stop trying to fix it and to simply offer it your quiet, loving company? Can you feel the shift? The deep, soulful peace in that simple act of presence. That is the gift of melancholy. It invites you home. The great paradox is that the people who have the greatest capacity for joy are often those who have also allowed themselves to fully feel their sorrow. They are not afraid of the full spectrum of their own humanity. Their container is large enough to hold both the sun and the rain. Embracing sadness does not lead to a sad life. It leads to a deep life, a life that is rich with meaning, with empathy, and with an authentic appreciation for the bittersweet, heartbreaking, and magnificent beauty of the human condition. You are no longer a fair-weather friend to your own soul. You are a friend for all seasons. And that is the very definition of wholeness.
We live in a world that is terrified of the dark, terrified of the quiet, the slow, the deep. We have been taught to live only on the sunlit surface of our own lives, but today we have remembered a deeper truth. The goal is not happiness. The goal is wholeness. And wholeness includes the twilight. It includes the rain. It includes the mud. Your sadness is not a sign that your life has gone wrong. It is a sign that you have a soul, a deep, complex, and beautiful soul that is not afraid to feel the full spectrum of this human experience. To welcome your sadness is not to choose a sad life. It is to choose a real life. A life of depth, of empathy, of creativity, and of profound, authentic connection. It is the end of the exhausting performance of being fine, and it is the beginning of the quiet, courageous peace of simply being human. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a mystery to be lived, and your sadness is one of your most sacred guides into that mystery. So, I invite you now to a final, quiet practice, a small ceremony to honor the wise and gentle guest of melancholy. The next time you feel a wave of sadness, I invite you to a small experiment. Instead of immediately reaching for a distraction, pause for just 60 seconds. Take a breath and silently say to the feeling, "You are welcome here." That's it. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to understand it. Just offer it a moment of hospitality, a moment of peace. In the comments below, I invite you to share one piece of art, A song, a film, a painting, a poem that has always been a faithful companion to the melancholy part of your soul. Let's create a library of this deep beauty, a testament to the wisdom that can only be found in the soul's rainy seasons. Once we learn to welcome the quiet guest of sadness, we can begin to transform our experience of another, often related state, the state of being alone. In our next video, we will explore the sacred journey from the pain of loneliness to the profound power of solitude. But for now, be kind to your own heart. Welcome all of your weather. The sun is beautiful, but the rain is what makes the flowers grow.